The 2025 Hungarian Grand Prix was meant to be a celebration. McLaren's 200th Grand Prix win, another thrilling 1-2 finish, and their domination in the constructors' standing solidified. But for Oscar Piastri, that celebration came with a sour aftertaste. Despite starting strong and building a commanding lead, his race crumbled through questionable strategy calls. Once again, the win went to Lando Norris, and the whispers in the paddock grew louder. Was McLaren truly playing fair between its two title-contending drivers? Because this isn't the first time. In the last 3 races, Piastri has been second best, not due to lack of pace, but due to circumstances outside his control. Hungary was just the latest chapter in a growing narrative. McLaren, intentionally or not, keeps putting Norris in the spotlight. And now, an unrecorded conversation between Norris and a senior team member, leaked by a journalist off the record, has thrown fuel on the fire. If you think this is just another routine, mid-season rivalry, think again. The tension is growing, the strategy is shifting, and the McLaren garage may not be as united as it seems. Hit that subscribe button right now, because what's happening behind closed doors at McLaren could define the 2025 F1 Championship. And in this video, we're peeling back the curtain. Let's start with what actually happened on track. Oscar Piastri was dominating. The Australian had built an 8-second cushion over his teammate Lando Norris. A clear display of control and raw pace. But just when everything looked to be locked in, the strategy course began to shift. McLaren pitted Piastri for a second time, putting him on a 2-stop plan that cost him over 20 seconds in total. Norris, he stayed out, executing a bold 1-stop strategy that gained him track position and ultimately the win. From a racing perspective, it looked like another thrilling strategic split between teammates. But for those watching the patterns closely, this was the 3rd time in just a handful of races that Norris had gained through smarter, or at least more opportunistic team strategy. And this time it cost Piastri not just the victory, but a critical opportunity to extend his slim championship lead. The key detail, Piastri said the 1-stop wasn't really considered on his side of the garage. It wasn't even really discussed that much, he admitted post-race. Meanwhile, Norris had the freedom to gamble because he had, in his own words, nothing to lose. It's within that simple contrast that the seeds of suspicion have taken root. What happened next has only poured gasoline on the fire. According to a reliable paddock insider, one who claims to have overheard an exchange not captured on any official footage, Norris reportedly thanked a McLaren strategist with the words, "Thanks for backing the call. I knew it would work if we played it right." The response, "It was always the better shot for the championship." That single line, "for the championship," has exploded across F1 forums, group chats, and media outlets because it implies something much bigger than just a smart race call. It suggests prioritization. It suggests intent. And in a title fight as close as this, that kind of favoritism, even if unspoken, is monumental. McLaren has long claimed it doesn't have a number 1 driver. CEO Zak Brown's directive is simple. Race each other respectfully. No contact, no games. On paper, it's a dream. 2 elite young drivers, equal machinery, and a code of honor. But history shows us that neutrality doesn't last in Formula One. When the pressure rises, teams begin to favor consistency, loyalty, and marketability. Lando Norris ticks all 3 boxes. He's the face of the McLaren rebuild, the longtime driver who stayed loyal during the tough years, and a fan favorite with massive commercial pull. He's British, driving for a British team, and the optics of him winning a title with McLaren are simply too good for any PR department to ignore. Piastri, despite his immense talent, is the outsider. Rapid, sharp, and unflappable, but also new. In his 2nd season, he's already proven he can beat anyone on his day, including Norris, and that makes him both an asset and a threat. What's so compelling is how both drivers are handling the fight. Norris is framing the season as a personal journey, one where he doesn't enjoy mind games and just wants to have a good time. He claims he doesn't want to get under Oscar's skin, and that winning should come from performance, not politics. But perhaps that's exactly the trick. By staying outwardly calm, friendly, and philosophical, Norris avoids the appearance of conflict even as strategy after strategy falls his way. It's the F1 equivalent of smiling while stabbing with a spoon. Piastri, meanwhile, is beginning to show the cracks of frustration. His post-race quotes reveal a growing sense of resignation. We'll look back and see if there was anything we should have done differently. It would have been nice to have the extra points. It's incredibly tough to stay close enough once you're behind. He's following the plan. He's trusting the process. But the process isn't rewarding him. Let's look at the numbers. If the stewards hadn't penalized Piastri and Silverstone, and if Hungary had swung his way as it should have based on pace, he'd be 37 points ahead of Norris right now. Instead, he's just 9 points up, a single DNF or strategy blunder away from falling behind. Verstappen, once considered the inevitable champion, is nowhere near. Red Bull has fallen off the radar. Ferrari can't keep up. The title fight is now internal, McLaren versus McLaren, but more specifically Piastri versus the system, and Norris backed by it. With 10 races remaining, the most fascinating storyline in Formula One isn't whether McLaren will win the constructors. That's done.